Bro, there's gonna come a time in your life where you meet a girl and you think that she's the one. But she's going to present you more red flags than a Chinese takeaway, and I promise you're still going to try and make it work. Well, Carl Jung, one of history's most influential and arguably badass psychologists, argued that it's actually subconscious beliefs that truly control the way that we see one another. Because let's be honest, we've all tried to make it work with the wrong person, but the deep question is, why? So I'm going to break down the psychological triggers that make you attracted to the wrong person, why this happens, and how to break the pattern. And if you don't know me, my name's Danny. Once shy and very socially awkward, I went on a journey to become a more confident and, dare I say, charismatic version of myself. And since 2017, I've been sharing what I know with entrepreneurs through to young professionals, working with guys like Steve here, helping them to level up so they can meet and date high-quality, wholesome women, as well as helping many others just like him. And I don't want to put you off, but there is in fact going to be some pretty brutal home truths about female nature and your own psychology presented in this video. Now, we need to be honest, the mainstream media has subverted the reality of human nature, force-feeding us this idea that both men and women are equal in terms of motivation, desire, and nature. But Carl Jung saw past this myth, and it all started with a concept that Jung called the anima. Every man carries within him an unconscious image of what the perfect woman should be, which is built from every experience you've had with a woman, whether it be your mum, through to your first girlfriend, every movie you've ever watched, and everything in between. Jung said the anima is the archetype of feminine in the collective unconsciousness of men. And why it's so important to understand this is because if you don't, it's going to control all of your choices. And if you found this video insightful so far, please tell me your thoughts in the comments below and feel free to subscribe. So let me tell you a story about Gabby. Picture this, I'm 25 and not only am I absolutely cooked, but I believe that this girl is the one for me. And she's everything I think I want. She's artistic, she's outgoing with just the right amount of emotional intensity. And I'm basically a golden retriever who's found his favorite tennis ball. Now we're 4 months in and reality decides to crash the party. That outgoing side that I've fallen for, well, it turns out that was just her way of escaping reality by partying every other night. The tortured artistic soul that I saw was one that couldn't actually pay her bills. And that emotional intensity that I craved so much meant that I was actually the full-time manager of her emotional state, meaning we'd argue every other second. Then 3 months after our 6-month anniversary, we broke up. Technically, she broke up with me, but let's not be petty about it. So how could I have been so blind? Well, the reality was I wasn't actually in love with Gabby. I was in love with the projection that I created. The animus. Women have the exact same problem too. They have their own projection called the animus, that internal image of what she thinks perfect masculinity should be. And bro, I get it. I know what you're thinking. How is having a psychology lesson gonna make me better with women? Jung wrote, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Because think about it, you've probably got a type, right? You always go after the same type of girl and it always ends the same way. And this is often just the projection making you chase that fantasy in your head, meaning you don't actually see women for who they are. So now the psychology lesson is over, what does all this mean? Well, simply you've got a deep down addiction to trying to make it work with the wrong person. So what does this mean for you and your 12 pending Tinder matches? Simply there's going to be a 99.9% chance you're going to project on the girl this image of what you want her to be, which blinds you from seeing who she actually is. And a little side note, if you're an introvert struggling to level up with your dating life and you want to explore how one-to-one coaching can essentially fast-track your progress, you can jump on a call with me. There's a link in the top line of the description. Now, let's get back to the video. So how do we solve this problem once and for all? Well, it's down to what I call the big four. You should ask yourself these 4 questions. What am I projecting? Am I seeing her or my projection? If you remove the projection and fantasy, would you still be interested? What does this attraction tell me about myself? So what happens when you finally become aware of these subconscious traits? You start developing good instincts about people. You become emotionally smart, and finally you'll stop relying on others' validation for your own sense of happiness. So let me leave you with this. Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are.